Hey Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory and honor, which is due unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makar Kadash. Double honors, as always, to the apostles, bishops and elders, a great millstone who rule well, okay, taught me this truth and lead by example. And Shalom to the Lord's elect, starting with 144,000. This is the brother Napash from the GMS UK camp, coming back to you with another lesson. And pretty much, man, I'm going to start with a scripture and I type something into Google and I'm going to go from there. This is Isaiah 24 and 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. In fact, let me get this in the blue letter. Let's go to Isaiah 24. All right. Right, it's Isaiah 24 and 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Okay, now I'm going to go into that word, defiled. Right, it says to be profaned, be defiled, be polluted, be corrupt. To be polluted, be profane, be godless. To pollute, to make profane, make godless, cause to be defiled. Now, it tells us in 2 Thessalonians. Now, what it might be is actually, let me type in profane person. Here we go. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16, Salakia. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right? Let's see what it says in the NLT. It says, make sure that no one is immoral or godless like Esau, who traded his birthright as the firstborn son for a single meal. Right, let's go into that word there for profane. Bebelos, it says, accessible, lawful to be trodden of places, profane, unhallowed, common public place of men ungodly. You know, you can't come into the temple. Okay. You know, the heathen, they're outside the temple. There's a particular section for them. Okay. But they can't come into the inner temple. And that's for Israel. You know, and ultimately, man, Esau amongst the heathen is the worst of the heathen. Yeah, that's the wicked the scriptures talk about. Okay. And pretty much everything this man does is death. Everything this man does is decay. And he's completely and utterly, by the very fabric of his nature, is completely against everything that is the righteousness of the scriptures, the law. Okay. And let's go to Psalms. Bear with me. That's not what I want. Put laws behind. Bear with me. 50. This is Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked, Yahweh Shai saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Because it's not to do with them. That's with Israel. Okay? We're the ones that have been given the instruction on how to rule the earth. We're the true rulers. Seeing thou hatest instruction and casteth my words behind thee. Okay? So going back to Isaiah 24 chapter, it says the earth also, verse 5, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So this man is not fit to rule. Okay, he's mismanaging everything to do with the managing of the earth. Okay, now what I typed in on Google was microplastics in everything, right? And this is what the Google research came back with. It says, you are completely right. Microplastics have infiltrated virtually every corner of the globe. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? From the deepest ocean trenches to Arctic sea ice and the peaks of Mount Everest, these particles, smaller than 5 millimeters, are shedding into the food we eat, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. Because they cannot be easily digested or excreted, these particles have been found accumulating throughout the human body, including the blood, lungs, liver, brain, and placenta. Researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health note that this ubiquitous exposure is a growing concern, as it can cause cellular damage, trigger inflammation, and serve as a vehicle for harmful toxins. While it is impossible to avoid them entirely, you can reduce your daily intake by changing a few habits. The scriptures tell us that our food is what? Our bread is defiled, okay, amongst the heathen, right? We can't escape this on this side. The only way we can escape it is the true escape, which is going to come through Yahweh Shai, through the deliverance, okay? And one of the things that we're going to do, okay, when we come back down off them ships, okay, we're going to start to clean up the earth, man, because it needs cleaning. Even space. This man's got space junk. We're going to have to clean up the ozone layer. We're going to have to clean up so much, okay? We're going to get all of that done, man, because, you know, the earth is going to go back to that I done state, okay? I done, what, paradise. So everything's going to get cleaned up. Even certain places going to get hit with nukes, like our land is going to get hit with a nuke, for example, okay? And that land, but we're going to dwell in it. That land is going to be cleansed, because fire is a cleansing agent. The difference with America and the cleansing it's going to go through with the fire is no man's going to dwell there. We ain't going to dwell there no more. That's going to be a monument, okay, of that destruction, all right, that great deliverance, all right, of the Lord's people, okay? So, hey, Esau's got a lot to pay for, man, all right? And part of that is, you know, we've got to fix up the things that this man has done on the earth, man. Right, this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So the ones that are destroying the earth abideth forever, as it is written, right? But the ones that are destroying the earth, they're putting the microplastics there, you know, which is just one facet. They're polluting the earth, they're polluting the seas, they're doing all this. It's got to be stopped. This man has to be stopped. You got whales beaching themselves. Everything's out of whack because nothing is in its... It's like if you used to drive a car and it's a diesel car and you put in petrol in the car. That shit is going to cause engine failure, man. Your shit ain't going to run. Okay? The earth, you know, is a system that it keeps healing itself. Okay? You know, they're putting concrete everywhere and you can see the earth trying to, you know, the different weeds and the different greenery trying to break out of that. So this man, he's not, you know, in unison with nature, with creation. Whereas in our kingdom, we will be, man. Everything will be in balance. Okay? So he's got to be destroyed. And ultimately, pursuant to the Obadiah, the first chapter, the nation of Esau will be destroyed, man. They're going to be done away with. Okay? They're going to be put on fire. They're going to be done away with, man. We're going to gather them up and get rid of them. And that's going to be a glorious day, man. You know, when the wicked are finally put out of there. So, hey, there ain't much long left. Hey, the scriptures say that no flesh should be saved, unless the Lord cut the time. And the Lord's speeding things up, man. For the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. It's got to be shortened, man, because there's a lot going on, and it's a toxic environment. Literally, it's a toxic, polluted environment, man. It's mentally, spiritually, physically, in all aspects. It's a war on the human soul, man. Because why? The wicked are in rulership. So as soon as this man is get taken down, things are gonna start, coming back to life. What did the Lord say? He said that he's gonna give life and life more abundantly, man. So, hey, this is just a quick one. Lord, and it was edifying. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.